Hello, incredible greetings. All right, so we have to sit here and wait for me to get the notification so that hopefully I don't look crazy when it shares this out. So I'm waiting. There it is. There's notification. I'm hoping that it catches me smiling and not looking crazy, but it looks like it actually caught me looking crazy. So let's see how this caught me. Let's see. Let's see the thumb. Nope, it got me looking like this. Oh wow, I swear these social media platforms are so freaking funny. Okay, let's go to. All right, let's make sure that we are able to be seen. And then let's go ahead and hit share. Okay. Join us live. Tag a friend. Like. Say hello. Okay. Oops. Alrighty. Select all. Copy. Share now. Share. Share to a group. I'm probably wasting an at everyone. I really am probably wasting it. Because I do plan to do another video later after I finish some designs. So let's see. We're just going to leave that like that. All righty. All right. There we go. There we go. All righty. Hello, 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 hello. All right, so I have this up. Let me pull up my TikTok. There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. Incredible morning. Incredible morning, everyone, or incredible greetings, depending on when you are watching this. Hello, everyone. I am Shakeya, the professor of HSINK365. We are the home of, honestly speaking, we carry the best sublimation ink and paper. If you don't know about our products, our sublimation paper is like nothing else that's on the market right now. We came out with it, and from jump, letting you know that you can actually sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. It does not require a cover sheet because it doesn't bleed through, so you're able to eliminate a step, saving you time and also saving you money. So check out our website, shop.hsink365.com, for that, as well as our ink that is in a bottle that is keyed for eco tanks, but we do sell the syringes and needles if you have a cartridge-based printer to be able to fill those, okay? So check that out over on shop.hsink365.com. Y'all know we are in sunny South Florida. We live in Miami. We are diehard Miami fans all across the board. So who won yesterday? The Dolphins did. So that means that today, the day after the Dolphin win, you can go over to our website and you can get our 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17, either fast dry or tacky, 100 pack 100 sheet packs. Dang it, that was a lot to say. For 23% off because it is 2023. So we're hoping for an amazing 2023 season. It is 50 years and counting of being the only team in the NFL with a completely undefeated season. So we know we've had some rough years, but we love having that under our belt. So 50 years and counting. We're hoping that 2023, we're looking pretty okay out there. So head over to the website anytime that the Heat win. For that 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 deal. Okay. So with that out of the way, how are you guys doing? I've missed you guys for about a week or so because we had a lot going on the other side of our business, which is HSINKcredible. A lot of time sensitive things that really had to go on. I really had to buckle down and focus when it came to that. So we didn't really have like a chat session. You guys got to see, some of you guys got to see my husband when we did the rags. I think it was the only live video that I really did last week, I think, was the one for the memorial rags. And just kind of like how we knocked it out. We did a series, like we did a few of them on TikTok, and then we did some over on Facebook and YouTube. So if you haven't checked that out, if you're watching over on TikTok, of course, there's no playback on TikTok, but you can go over to our YouTube channel and check out that playback of those rags and things like that. All right. So we like to do these Q&As and chats. I know that everyone isn't able to maybe attend classes or, maybe you have a question right now, like something happened. It's like, man, I just posted this question in a group. I haven't received an answer yet. Or maybe, just want to kind of hear the professor's perspective on it. So whether it's a question or a general topic, this is your opportunity to tap into the brain of the professor and see what I have to say about it and see if I can help you. Okay. So we'll probably be on for about a good 30 to 45 minutes or so. We definitely want to keep this under an hour so that you guys actually want to watch the playback of this. But these sessions are as informative and helpful as you guys, like it's all based on you and your engagement, your questions and things like that. So whether you're asking a question over here on TikTok or a question over here on Facebook or YouTube, it is up to you how great or incredible this live session is. Okay. So, couple things. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. As you guys come in, just say, hey, that quick, just typing in 2 letters, hi, type in the 3 letters, hey, whatever it is, let me know what city and state you're watching from. All of that helps this platform. So if you enjoy the professor, you enjoy my content, and you want this to continue, I got to know that it's worth it, right? So the numbers tell me whether or not these are still worth it or not. So I just need for you guys to help the algorithm out. Go ahead and put a comment, like the video, tag someone in this video. If you have your own group of creators and crafters, and it's like your group and you don't mind it being shared in your group, if you can go ahead and hit that share button as well. Okay. All righty. So let's see. Who do we have over here? Incredible morning, craftastic tips with Shawnee D. It just says creations on yours. I'm not sure if the rest of your name, but good morning. Thank you for joining us live. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Incredible greetings. Devon, Tanika, how are you? Let's see. I don't know if I missed anybody else at the top. All right, there we go. Let's see. Over here. Incredible greetings, Beverly. Nani's journey, how art thou? Hey, Danny. Don't forget to like the video. Exactly. Good. Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. About to get rid of my oncology appointment. Have to catch a replay. Wishing everyone a marvelous Monday. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, period. Hey, Crystal. Hey, just say Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Thank you for watching from West Virginia. New Jersey's in the house. Hello. Thank you for tagging a friend. Incredible morning. So I see your question. I'm going to come right back to it. Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for posting your question and being the first question of the day. Incredible greetings. Okay, so incredible. Wait, good morning. Not sure if this is appropriate time to ask this question. Is it possible? Wait, it's possible you've discussed it. I'm sure I've probably missed it. How do you handle offering a discount on bulk orders? So, normally the way that I choose to create something, that technically the discount is already there. So what it is like, if you're doing a single shirt, it should not be um like it's almost like the highest possible. Like I almost treat like single shirts as almost like a sample size. Especially if I'm creating it from scratch, because of how I price, in the fact that my design fee is one thing, and then I don't have products when it comes to the custom side. We learned this in the therapy session. I have services, so each one of those services has a different cost. So when it comes to anything bulk, and it really depends on what you consider bulk, I'm already using a method. Like I'm going to choose a method that is going to be efficient and effective for both me as well as the customer. So if I'm like, let's say if I made them a shirt before and I was using it with vinyl, that would have a different price point. But now if I'm going into something like DTF or screen print transfers, those, a lot of times you're buying a lot of them, they're going to be less expensive. So I'm breaking it down on that. My price for that is already at the best possible price. So I don't add on an additional discount. I use the best method that's going to be cost effective to finish that job that is multiple units. So usually there's nothing extra on top of that cost or that price or that quote. I think I went through these. Hello from rainy Long Island. Sad day. Oh yeah. So yeah, 9/11. I said that too, and I meant to address that at the beginning. Yep, today is 9/11. A lot of commemorations going on today. God bless all those who lost someone from this tragedy. Not even just lost someone in it. Like there are those who survived it, and I think that sometimes we forget about acknowledging those who were there and that survived it, and those who may still experience effects from it, like the first responders and their, just being in all of that, um, uh, uh, that pollution and, and the smoke and the debris and the dust and all of that from being, at ground zero for that. So I often hear people, just, remember those who were lost, but let's remember those who actually have to still live, from the effects of that as well. Okay. Let's see. Been patiently waiting for the Silhouette Summit to wait for this release that's coming. I knew that was going to come from somewhere, and someone was going to ask me if they saw, that there's this big announcement. I just was waiting for someone to mention that. I have some thoughts on this whole thing, and we'll get to that in a moment. So 25 or more hoodies. Again, the method, when they're coming to me and I already know that it's going to be a certain number, I am going to figure out what's going to be the best method. If it is something, let's say, like for instance, sublimation, right? There really is no way to cut cost, right? When it comes to sublimation. For something like a shirt, because you're going to use that whole sheet and just the way that that process is. So I'm not really inclined to give discounts for something like sublimation. But now if I'm able to use a method other than sublimation where it's going to be cost effective, then I have a price point for that. Most of my discounts come from things like loyalty, or VIP customers. Sometimes, like first time orders. Um, if I know like it's for a fundraiser for a team like sports, like the youth teams and stuff like around here, I'll offer discounts for that. If it's something where it's in conjunction with some sort of sponsorship, those are times where I'm giving discounts, but just a discount just to give it, no. I am definitely one. I'm not a wholesale place, that has, like, let's say if we're doing sublimation where I have like these really large machines and these roll to roll heat presses, because like the big time, they're not doing it on like a small heat press. They're not even doing it on like the really, really big ones that you pull it down. When it comes to these major shops, most of them have the large printers. They're going to have a large laser cutter that's going to cut everything out. Like if they're doing cut and sew, or if it is just a center print, they may have the shirt and they're going to put it through the big rolling heat press, and it's just going to kind of fall and stuff like that. Like those are companies that can do mass production, and it's going to be cost effective and time, it's going to be cost effective and it's going to be time efficient. Well, with what most of us do here, you really aren't cutting time on certain tasks. So if it's not something that's becoming more efficient, I'm not giving a discount. I'm just not. So that's just the way I do business. Ooh, your stepdad worked at Ground Zero and got cancer later. Other family members also worked in the area and witnessed it. Yeah, it's a lot. Like I still remember to this day where I was at when it came across. I was in Korea, and even though it happened in the US, for a moment we were on lockdown because they didn't know like how extensive this was. Was it, where the attacks, like how calculated it was. So we were on lockdown in Korea when that happened. I've been stalking great words on the remembrance of the day. Thank you. Good morning. I would love to learn Silhouette Studio and learn to change colors of words on PNGs. So we have to remember that Silhouette Studio is a vector-based program, and you can't really, okay, so like let's say Photoshop, right? You have an image. You can go to select, and then you can select a color range, and you can easily kind of select that color and then put a color overlay on it, or create a new layer, put the color on top of that so that you're not messing up the original. You can also do like a quick selection. So you're selecting the pixels where that color is, and it can make it a little bit easier to change colors. When it comes to Silhouette Studio or any like other vector-based ones, you're going to have to isolate that. And that normally includes like tracing it out. So whether you are able to use the actual trace feature, or you're going to have to manually trace it using your draw polygon, or just using your edit points and changing curves and things like that to isolate that. So it's not always like just kind of cut like a straightforward where you're just going to be able to change the colors. Now, if it is something where you are typing it out, or it's like a silhouette file that you purchase, or it's inside of a bundle, or if it's a DXF file or an SVG file, you can then just ungroup or release compound path depending on how it's set up, and then change the color. But for a PNG, you're going to have to trace that section to be able to change the color. But all of that is taught in our 30-day training. You can find that over on our website, shop.hsink365.com. It is going to be the foundation for our bachelor's program that's coming up. That is going to be released this week. I am super excited to get back to doing weekly classes. The only holdup has been the schedule. I am the vice president of my son's PTA at the middle school. I'm just on the PTA at Zion Imani School. So I'm trying to coordinate those schedules to make sure that like I don't have like a lot of reschedule of classes. So once we finalize that, like I'll know exactly when I can host classes, because most of you guys want them in the evening time, but the evening time a lot of times is time for me with the kids. When we did the 30-day training, it worked out great. It was, in the midst of the panorama. And I was able to do like 11 o'clock classes. But now that everyone's kind of back to their regular routine, the 11 o'clock or like the midday classes don't work out as well. However, I am the teacher all the way around, and I'm normally the one that's helping kids with homework and things like that. So it's really hard now for me to do evening classes especially with both kids being in like regular public school and having homework, and then them having activities and different things at school. I'm a very, very involved parent. So I'm trying to work out this schedule, but Lord have mercy. So it's coming. It's coming. We really need to go back. And I think a lot of people were missing those weekly sessions. It helps you retain the information a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Incredible greetings, Tennessee in the house. Good morning. Watching day 12 of Learn Select Studio in 30 days. How are you liking it so far? Give us a firsthand account. You're on day 12. How is it for you so far? How much have you learned on a scale of like 1 to 10? What are we giving it? How many stars are we giving it? Okay, so how do we tilt words in? I knew that was coming. I knew that one was coming too. Okay, so here's the thing, right? In our group, I forget which group it was. Was it in Honestly Speaking or Sillaholics Anonymous? So in one of those groups, one of the members did a video. Great video. Wanted to highlight that one. I'm trying to figure out how I can download it and then post it. But some of you guys have asked me about this whole stacked font. I've done a video, guys. Like, it's really nothing new. So if you go and you type in Sillaholics Anonymous stacked, it is the exact same concept. Literally the exact same concept. The only difference that I see with a lot of the other ones, especially the ones like on Canva, is that they're putting a fade to kind of create a shadow. My issue with that, though, is what are we actually putting this on? Because when they make the background black, pink, yellow, orange, and then they're putting that fade there, if you're going to sublimate that to something, that means that it's going to be a straight up square. Canva doesn't have it, nor does Silhouette Studio, where you can really just fade off that bottom part so that it blends, and you can do it like with sublimation. Now you can go and add a fade mask to it where that area is going to print, like it's not going to print because it's going to be white, and it can kind of have the illusion of a fade. But if it's something that is like colored, it's not quite the same. So I will do another video. For the way that it's trending now, you do have to have Designer Edition, Designer Plus, or Business Edition for the warp tool. And then all you're doing is just literally pushing out the ends or pulling them in to kind of give it that, to give it like that stretched look. That's all you're doing. And then you're just going to stack them. And then there's a button to literally mirror the whole thing to the bottom. So I will do a video because I've gotten inboxes about this. It's like whenever there's something trending, y'all over. I'm not big on trends. I'm really not. I know that kind of hurts me because you guys just want to learn it. Like you see it. I don't understand that the current trend. I'm just at a loss. I haven't seen anyone do anything where I'm like, okay, how is this really usable other than maybe like a sign or a Tumblr? Because I'm like, the background is solid. Even when it comes to like, the trend of DTF. How are we using this in DTF? So I typically don't tend to jump on them. And last week I had no opportunity to really dive into it to even kind of come up with a tutorial where it would be able to use like across the board, no matter which print method you're using. I had other things going on, and because it's not something that I'll be using, I'll be honest, I don't always jump on them when they're trending because I have, things already planned out. And I guess my audience and my customer base is used to me kind of having those unique things, and no one really asked me for that. I think my people here now know anything that is trending on social media, don't ask Shakeya to do it. As far as like my print, like when it comes to like making shirts for different sports teams here, youth sports teams and things like that, I think they know now, like, okay, you can bring that to me, and I'm going to give you something different. I just don't do trends. That's just me. But I knew it was coming. So I will do the video for you guys. I just have to figure out how to make it versatile, because the way that it's shown now, I just think that it's pointless. Like, what is it going on? So it's I guess nice to look at, but how is it going to be used? I'm not going to waste time on anything that I feel it's not efficient. Like, what are we doing this for? I'm always asking you guys the question. We want to jump on these trends, and I'm going to always ask the question, why? You know, how do you plan to use this? Do you even have a market for it? Who do you plan to market this to? If you can't answer those questions, what are we trying to learn this for? We need to focus on the things that's actually going to make you money or really challenge your creativity. Let's see. She says, I love it, learning so much. I give it 100 stars. Hello, Kalina Harthout. I got to get with you. I know we need to talk ASAP. We definitely need to get with you about the shirts. It's just that yesterday I was out of it. Then it was like raining. That just made the day very gloomy. I wanted to do no work on yesterday. So we definitely have to discuss these shirts later today. All right, where is our next question coming from? So go ahead. You don't have to wait for me to finish one question to answer your question. So feel free to go ahead and continue to post your questions. And while you guys are posting your questions, we're going to talk about this announcement. So Silhouette America put out a post, and they said, you know, a big announcement coming soon, no dates or anything like that. However, Melissa from Silhouette School Blog, she also put a post out and said that their summit in Hawaii was coming up, and that she was going to be there to see firsthand the new release and all of that jazz. I said in every video when I'm doing, you know, when I'm teaching, I am not an affiliate of Silhouette America. I genuinely love the software and what it offers to beginners in graphic designing. It allows you to get a handle and like just get an understanding of how graphic designing softwares work. And you can do it for free. A lot of the features for just creating things are available in the free version of Silhouette Studio. Now, do I recommend the upgraded versions? Yes, I do. If nothing else, at least the designer edition, because then you can open up SVGs. Most creators, most crafters, that is kind of like a universal one. Like a lot of files, like vector files, are available in that format. Most crafters don't think about like EPS files, CAD files, or even understand that PDFs saved from a vector-based program is still a vector format. So because most crafters don't understand that, and craft files are in SVG format, that's kind of the universal one. And in order to open up these SVG files, you do have to have Designer Edition or higher. Now, Business Edition is the highest version. Contrary to what some believe, you don't have to have a business. The reason why it's called Business Edition is the key feature in it was to be able to cut to multiple machines at one time. Before, you had to have it on an SD card or a USB. Eventually, like with the Cameo 2, they changed it to a regular USB, and you can use like the regular Silhouette one. So you don't have to have your computer in order to cut. So let's say if you're on site somewhere, if you already have pre-made designs, you can have them on a jump drive, plug it into the side. Now, if you have the 4, you have to have the link from your phone. You have to do it that way, which was one of the features I don't like. I'm hoping that they bring back some things and they don't continue to take away. So I am kind of intrigued, but I don't have a lot of high hopes. I really wish they would work on the software before they work on another machine. That's just my personal take on it. Really wish they would just work on streamlining their software, because 4.5 absolutely bites. Like it's horrible. I don't understand how we can come up with a new machine when we have not worked out the bugs of the program. But hey, that's not my company. But I just think that in general, the features that that program has, it has a lot of like the same things that you can do in like your Illustrators, Photoshop, and there are some things in there. Trace and detach cannot be done in what do people call Illustrator, right? Now you can trace it, you can go remove white if it has like white around it and things like that. But to have like those contour lines, like there's a certain way that you have to do it. Like you have to do it as a trace, then you have to like expand it, then you have to weld it or unite it is what it's called in Illustrator. And then you have to take that and create the outline. Like if you wanted to cut, whether you're using the Silhouette Connect, or if you're going to send it to a roll-in and set it as a spot color, like there are certain things you have to do. Whereas in Silhouette Studio, you literally go increase your threshold. You could do trace and detach. It's going to remove that background and give you the outline. So there are some things that Silhouette Studio has a one-up on some of the others. I use Photoshop all the time, but for text-based things, the way Photoshop works and like with changing the text, changing the color, having to like double click on it, go into a different window that then opens up a different window, like it's too much. Where in Silhouette Studio, I can type it out, I can click a button, change the text, and it's done. So there are a lot of advantages. This is coming from someone who actually is a graphic designer. I use Photoshop, I use Illustrator, I use Corel Draw, and I'm still going to say, especially for beginners, Silhouette Studio is the place to start. And I don't get paid to say that. Them people have never talked to me at all. So I have no knowledge of what they're going to release. I just have my wish list of what I hope this new machine has. So LOL, I don't need another machine. Based on their post, yeah, it looks like a new machine. Yeah, I know it is, but I'm just saying, I just wish they would work on the program before the machine. I know it's another machine. Program and better accessories would be great. Incredible greetings. Hello. All right, let's see. Incredible greetings. Hello. Good morning. I have a question. Is business the highest, or is there a business plus? It's just business edition. Now, whether or not they plan on coming out with the business plus after this one, but as of right now, business edition is the highest version, and you don't need a business to have it. It was because it was to run multiple machines, and they figured if you got multiple machines, you have to be running a business. Yeah, I have my wish list of what I hope is included in this new machine and what's not included in this machine. I hope that they never do a 24-inch again. I don't think they're ready for it. So I'm like, I think they need a couple more mango seasons. If you're from the South, you know what that means. But they definitely need a couple more mango seasons before they attempt another 24-inch. I have business edition, but still don't know everything I can do. Have you enrolled in the 30-day training? Because it breaks it down. Now, I will say the first day we go over the features of all of the different versions and the benefits of them. Business edition in of itself does not add a lot to how you use the program. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get business edition and everything is going to be great. It's going to make designing so much easier. That is not true. Okay. The things of business edition, like the key features of business edition, being able to use multiple machines. If you're like me and you have 6 different machines, all the way from generation 1 to 4, all 4 generations, including the portrait, including all 3 portraits, the curio, all of those, you can send designed to them right from the same. And unlike, I'm sorry, I know y'all don't like when I talk about Cricut, but unlike Cricut Design Space, where you have to open up several different like web pages and stuff like that, like you can have all of your tabs all open in one. You can go to one, click it, send it, click on the next one, send it. Like it just works just like that. As far as sending them, so it's a lot more streamlined. So being able to send to multiple machines, the ability to save in JPEG, PNG, and SVG format, and multiple undo. I always say the cone warp is a great business edition feature because I don't understand the purpose of Design Edition Plus. I mean, I understand why it was created, but it's kind of like a waste to me. It's either do designer or go straight to business. Like, unless you need that one just to kind of like as a pass through to get to business, Design Edition Plus, unless you are someone that does rhinestones, but even then it's not really beneficial. It's no real benefit to just going to Design Edition Plus. So I personally think they can go designer, business, and then maybe do a business plus, but designer plus, pointless. But the cone warp is not in designer edition. It is in designer plus and business. So you need one of those. And of course, I recommend business edition. So to get the cone warp, like if you're doing taper tumblers, you need it for that. Multiple undo is also one of my favorite features of business edition, the multiple undo. And that's really about it for business edition, like what you need business edition for. There are some other features, but most people don't use that. Most people aren't creating their own fonts. The media view, kind of pointless. The weed borders, kind of pointless. Like you can just simply put a box, or you can just simply do offset, which works better for creating weed borders or weed lines. Let's see. Media, weed borders, and font creations. Oh, flexi shapes. Those come in handy. You can get flexi shapes in Designer Plus or Business. So I always just say Business Edition if you want flexi shapes. But outside of that, the rest of the features come in with Designer Edition. None of the upgrades help with major things like tracing, how you crop, replicating, aligning. You can do all of that from the free version. There's just slight features that I know that I can't live without. I gotta have my keyboard shortcuts. I gotta have like my center of rotation. I use my crosshairs. Having my rulers, must have. Before, it used to be, in order for you to deselect auto apply, like for knives and for eraser tools, you had to have designer. But in 4.1, they made it to where you can do that from the free version. But like in all the 3.6, 3.3, you had to have business edition for that. You used to have business edition in order to make your design page larger than 12 inches. They changed that back in version 4.3, because in version 4.1.2, you had to have business edition in order to like do 13 by 19. So they changed that. I can't stand the PNG trace for certain things. I absolutely despise the print preview. So yeah, like you can do a lot. I'm telling y'all, it's just things that makes it easier, like being able to use keyboard shortcuts, and being able to use like certain things like center of rotation, rulers, like for guides and stuff like that. That makes your life a whole lot easier when it comes to the upgrades. That absolutely amazes me. As much as you share about their products, you should be the #1 affiliate. Yeah. But that lets you know that I am 100% honest and authentic in my recommendation of it, in my opinion of it, because I'm not paid to say that it's great. Do not buy it to convert files to 300 DPI. LOL. We've had this conversation before. Yeah, it's definitely not that. Oh, Now, when I say work on program, that is one of the things that I wish they would work on. I use it to save. So if you guys saw my post today about the fact that the Dolphins won. So whenever the Dolphins win, the day after that win, you'll get 23% off of 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 paper. I created that and saved it from Silhouette Studio. So I'll show y'all real quick. I would normally go to Canva, and I was like, I don't feel like going to Canva. I really, really don't. So let's go present, share screen, entire screen, screen 2, share, add to screen, and bam. And then I'm going to flip this around for y'all. Flip camera. Ooh, child, this camera dirty. Hold on. Okay, see? Made that right there in Silhouette Studio. This was actually got this from the internet, added to it. Boom. And if you look at the picture that's on social media, I saved it right from Silhouette Studio using the save selection, save as a JPEG. Something like that where I'm not worried about printing it out, I will definitely save it from there. When I'm doing mock-ups, when I just want to send the design to the customer, I will use it to save as a JPEG or a PNG. I don't use it for anything that I'm actually going to print out. I always use portable document format, so PDF. I do not use it. It is definitely not the best program to save as a PDF, as a PNG or a JPEG for you to sell to others or to save it to take it to a different program to print. Now, I can design over here. I can print directly from Silhouette, but to save it as a JPEG to then send somewhere else to print, I'll never do that. I'll never do that. I have recommended your paper to several creators recently. It's amazing. Thank you. I don't even know what FlexiShape is. I'm telling you, the 30-day training. Go over to our website, shop.hsink365.com. That 30-day training, I break down, like, it is not something where, people say, oh, I have a class. I'm going to show you how to design a chip bag. Someone just asked me about a grave blanket, or, it's not. It's going to help you when it comes to you doing your designs. But what this 30-day training for is, it breaks down every single tool and function that's essential to you when designing in Silhouette Studio. So if I were to click, well, I'm just going to slide it. Like I said, features and benefits of the different upgrades. I kind of went through it briefly. On that one, I break them down like to a science. Your preferences, your shortcuts, how to save. I explained in that one about the pros and cons of saving as a JPEG and a PNG. The program layout, so you'll learn all of that. Design page setup and registration mark for those who do print and cut, or just the design page. Like if you are just printing, you have to know how to increase your page size and like with saving it and sending it to print, all of that. Then we go into the modification for subtract all, cropping, compound pass is always a big one for most. Divide, basics of text, text to path, cropping to text, 3 different breakdowns. And that's just the general part of text. Because then we have text effects, and you can now combine your line tools. You can combine your your different polygons and shapes. You can combine offsetting and then subtracting and stuff like that to create amazing text effects. This is the basic parts of text. So basic of text, how to start it, how to align it, how to space it, like all sorts of things. Text to path, cropping to text. Then we go over the fill tool ingredients, how to use it, how to add custom colors to it, how to use your hex codes, which if you're doing summation, if you're going to print and you're using Silhouette Studio, that is one of the downsides. Don't use any of the colors in their palette. You want to use exact color codes when you're using Silhouette Studio. Then we go into 2 days of tracing. It was almost like 3 days of tracing. And those are long days. I'm not going to lie. Those are really long days because I went through breaking it down, and then it was like, okay, let's do it together. I allowed people to show their screen. Then we had a bonus session when it came to tracing. Those 2 tracing days are long. Those were our weekend classes. They are long, but it's full of information. Okay. So she says, this is the best training available, 100 stars. The 30-day training is a godsend. Knowing the basics makes designing go smoothly. Yes. So then we go through line and shape tool, line color, and line style. You may think like, okay, well, why isn't that all in the same one? If you have designer edition or above, there's actually additional features to the line tool and different line shapes, which helps with those text effects and things like that. All right. So then we go through aligning, replicate basics, replicate advanced. This is like under the basics. This is one of the key features to that mirrored flip text, because I see like how some people were like mirroring it and then they manually flipped it. No, it's a button that just does it for you. Replicate basics is how you'll do 3D designs in the advanced. And then edit points, Achilles heel for a lot of creators, but I promise you it's not as bad as you think once you just get an understanding. And then understanding edit points here helps you with like, once you upgrade to like Photoshop, understanding the pen tool. Same thing in like Illustrator when you're going around and you're using those edit points and adjusting those. It definitely helps to learn it in Silhouette Studio, because once you go over to Photoshop, it actually becomes a little bit easier because you can actually adjust those handles in real time as you're going around. Like you can pull it and change the directions in real time. But once you just understand how to like move them and how to curve around shapes, when it should be a corner versus when it should be a curve, and you're learning it here, it will make learning it in Photoshop easier, because then you only have to worry about how to adjust them. If you learn pen tools and nodes in Photoshop first, because of how it moves, it can become very, very confusing. Then we have offsets, image effects, rhinestones, which I teach you how to mix different sizes of rhinestones. The differences in SVG and DXF files. So DXF is if you have the free version of Silhouette Studio, there is a file where it's still in vector format, but everything is just kind of like loose. So we go over that. Then we go through like the rest of it is like a lot of hands-on designing. We go through creating templates because we save that for a weekend day. How to use Silhouette Studio, how to create your own templates, whether it's something that you need to scan, if you need to measure and create it from scratch, we go over that. And then just more hands-on designing, reviews, and Q&A. So there's a lot. It's unedited. You get to experience it almost as if you were still, like if you were there, just not at 11 o'clock in the morning. So definitely check out the 30-day training. It is the absolute best training for Silhouette Studio. It goes over everything. And we have to remember that the goal in this is not to watch it to complete a design. When you are going through this training, you should be going through it to gain an understanding of the tools and functions. Guys, please do use the worksheets. Please work out the worksheets. Once you finish the worksheet one time, do it again and see if you retained it, see if it goes faster. Now that's what we are going to be working on in the bachelor's program, is basically reinforcing that. You have to get the 30-day training. You have to have that in order to be able to do the bachelor's, whether you get it when you sign up for bachelor's or you get it ahead of time. That way you're not totally and completely lost. You have to have the 30-day training. It is our flagship course. You have to have it for the trainings coming up. Okay. All right. So that's that. And so flexi shapes would be, I'm gonna move over here. So that's these. So it just kind of starts you off like that's where your start is. Like if I want to create like little tabs, especially those who are like who make, what is those things? Stickers for planners and stuff. And they have like the little flag, like the date flags and stuff like that. Like all of that stuff is kind of already there. Having that tree, kind of having shapes that already have contoured edges and things like that. And you can manipulate these. So you can, like, let's say if I did the lightning bolt, I can adjust it. So look, I'm going to create this shape that's like that. Like I don't have to create a rectangle and then use my skew tool. Like I can just move this. I can make this go wider, shrink it. You can tell it. So I'm going to bring this like this. And so I can tell it how many I want on there. So I'm creating an instant zigzag. So there's a lot of great features too, and like ways to use these flexi shapes. What format did you say you recommend for printing? So if I'm just printing from Silhouette Studio, I just print. But if I need to send it like for DTF, I have a video on that. I save it as a PDF, and then I open up that PDF in either Photoshop or Illustrator, and then immediately I go to export and export it as a PNG. That's how I do it, and I do have a video to that effect. We do have the option for buy now, pay later. So you can utilize Shop Pay or Sezzle or PayPal's for payments for that if needed. I love this. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and post them in the comments. All right, so let's flip you guys back around. And let's see over here. I was trying to find a tutorial on how to cut fabric for appliques and haven't had any luck. I know you don't do embroidery, but what's your advice? It all depends on the type of fabric that you are using. So if you, and which blade you have. So unlike Cricut, which has like the rotary blade, which you'll say for fabric, you can cut it with like the regular blade, the premium blade. I mean, the craft blade, I think is like overkill. But what's going to be most important, because they don't have a rotary blade, is putting stabilizer on the back. So you can do a temporary one, which would be freezer paper. So on one side of the freezer paper, it has kind of like a waxy feel to it, but it creates a temporary stick. So you can take that and, use your heat press, put a cover sheet on it, because if not, that sticky stuff from the freezer paper will get on your heat press. So you want to cover that, and then you want to press that to the back. Then you can put it on your mat, and because it's giving it stability to the back, you can then cut and that freezer paper peels off. Or you can do heat embalm, but you have to have something on the back that's going to help you with actually stabilizing that fabric. So that's the only thing to that one. And you can, of course, open up, you have to have at least Design Edition Plus or Business Edition to open up your embroidery file. So when you have embroidery files and they have like that outline that's for appliques, you're just going to open that up. Or if you don't have that, you can always just open up the regular. Well, if you have like the JPEG of, the exact size, but it is better to open up like the SVG or the, PES file. And you'll have that outline. If not, you have to trace it. But once you have that outline, it should already be sized to the correct size, and then you're just going to cut that out, and you're going to have that to fit right in place, and then do your tack stitch, and then do your full stitch. Just because I don't do embroidery, that don't mean I don't know about the process. I told y'all I am well versed. I keep telling y'all this. I make it my business to be educated, even on the beginner level, for what my creatives need. So I like embroidery. I just choose not to do embroidery. Center of rotation, one of my favorites. I've never heard you didn't like the print preview feature before. I'm super curious to know why, because it's pointless. Like, it confuses people. It's not it's not set to your settings. So let's say if you design previously at 8.5 by 14, or it was set to that, but you changed your page to 8.5 to 11 by 17, and you go to print preview, it always foils people up. They think that they messed something up. So I just really think that it's pointless, because you still, from there, you still have to go into the regular print settings to change it. And then there's a print preview. it is better for you to see the print preview from the actual printer than it is from Silhouette Studio. So it's absolutely pointless. Make sure you have a notebook, definitely. I'm getting ready to start my watch over for the second time. Yeah, freezer paper is amazing. I do embroidery, but didn't know I can open embroidery files in Silhouette only if you have Designer Edition Plus or Business Edition. Designer Edition Plus was created for the fabric lovers and those who are in embroidery, because that's the first place where you can open up embroidery files. And it was more so for that. But I think that they didn't want it to make it seem like, okay, you'd have to pay this extra money just to open up one file type. So they gave you like a few extras here and there. Especially once 4.3 came into play, they threw in a few extras. But when it was like just 3.6, 3.8, and like 4.0, it was like you literally are purchasing this just for the ability to open up embroidery files. Like that's really what it was created for. They threw in like the advanced rhinestones and like some other stuff, but it was really made to open up those files. I joined late. Are these online classes or will be streamed live? So our 30-day training was done live. It was live via Zoom, privately. You had to enroll in it, and they were done via Zoom. But now you're just getting the playback. These were conducted at 11 a.m., which wasn't a convenient time for a lot of people, but we actually still had quite a few people on each of the lives because we were in the middle of the pandemic. We weren't quite on lockdown. People were slowly starting to get back to their regular lives. So with that one, it was recorded from the of my files. It was correct for everyone else, but with me playing around with it, by the time I got ready to use it, it was actually messed up. But it afforded me the opportunity to explain to those who were attending this, and of course, if you're watching the playback of it, how to identify if this is how your file is set up, because every file is different. Not every creator of files of SVG files are going to set them up the same way. I've done countless videos showing the differences in how files are set up and how, although they may look the same, they operate differently. So I'm always like really, really happy for what I call happy mistakes, because it allows for a teaching moment for me to explain, okay, you may get a file that's like this. It's not going to always be this perfect scenario like you will watch in a tutorial. That's why I say I teach. I don't just do tutorials, because tutorials are normally done in the perfect manner because it's normally edited to edit out all of the bloopers and the mistakes. I teach through the bloopers and mistakes, because if you're not used to, even I'm used to this, like I'm used to designing, yet I have mistakes and I don't panic. I just know how to work it out. So I'm grateful for those in this training. All of my classes are always done, like the first run is always done live via Zoom. And then you have access to the playback. So if you don't get, if you find out about a class after the fact, then you're just getting the playback of it. But if you follow us, you're on our mailing list, you're making sure that you're checking for our emails. When we have classes that come up, you're able to attend live. We have dedicated sections for Q&A, or you can always just raise your hand so that I can call on you. I will allow people to share their screen if they're working along with me. We do recommend that you have at least 2 screens if you're going to try and work along. It's really hard to do the split screen thing. You can use the chat. So it's very, very interactive whenever it is an actual live class. It's nothing like these. So some people think that because I'm on live and I'm so informative on my live videos that, oh, well, I don't need a class. I'm telling you. It's a totally different experience being in a live teaching session with me that's for a dedicated subject versus just these general Q&As. OMG, I'm so excited. I have Business Edition and do appliques. Awesome. I have not decided on the next when that will be and what the top. Well, I do know the topics. I have actually have all the topics written out, but I haven't decided on the next day because I'm trying to get my whole schedule together with these kids at different public schools. She was like, "Yes, because you helped me so much during the ribbon training." Yeah. What am I teaching? I am teaching about just anything on the creative side. So this is our Q&A session. So I personally teach designing via Silhouette Studio and Photoshop. We talk about business. We talk about sublimation because we have a sublimation paper and we have sublimation paper and ink products on our website, which are 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 is available for 23% off if you put in the code FINS WIN because my Dolphins won yesterday. So for the next 24 hours, well, until 11:59 p.m. This evening, Eastern Standard Time, you can get 23% off of the 8.5 by 14 or 11 by 17 100 sheet packs, whether it's fast dry or the tacky paper. All right. So anytime Heat win, the next day that code would be active. It's going to be the same thing. Fins win. But what I'm teaching depends on you. Whatever question you have is what we're going to teach on for the next. Oh, we're at an hour, so I will still give you guys maybe like we'll do like maybe 2 or 3 more questions, and that's it. Because we are at an hour. And that's why I said I did not mean to do at everyone, especially in the student union, because in the student union, before I get my day started, quite a few of you guys have asked about the post that I made with all of the memorial items. So I'm going to do a live video in the student union going over those different items. Ooh, thank you for the rose. Ooh, and it's your first gift over here. Thank you for the rose. Thanks, my first time coming across your live. Well, welcome. So, if you are someone that is in the creative space, a lot of great information over here, whether it's about graphic designing, like I said, different print methods, sublimation, DTF, DTG, screen print transfers, even understanding screen printing. Just doing regular prints on a regular printer. If you're doing stickers or labels, we also deal with we teach in about eco solvent, latex solvent printing. Let's see what else. I just said graphic designing, business, so marketing, branding, websites, social media, pricing, customer service. Like startup business professor is who I am. If you're just starting, even if you're not in the creative space, as far as like making shirts, making tumblers, making towels, making drinkware, fans, chip bags, water bottle labels. My background is event planning, so I'm well versed in all of that. Even if that's not your business, I have assisted those who are in business. Actually, just had a consultation with someone who has a transportation company for kids. They were actually passing out flyers and stuff like that. And I noticed some things, and I gave them like a quick little consultation on the spot, and then end up having a phone conversation with them. Can't wait to like work some things out with them. I've helped candle companies. Let's see who else. Young lady that's starting an assisted living facility. So I'm well versed when it comes to business all the way around. All right, so I'll tell you this. She says, also, I'll go through your page. I've been looking into getting into making tumblers. Um, I'm not big on TikTok. Like I did enough. I'm not gonna lie. I did enough to be able to go live. Okay. I thrive in live content and long format content. So if you check out my YouTube channel, or even come over to our Facebook group, you're going to get a lot more content than you will over here on TikTok. I absolutely suck at short form content. So I did enough to be able to go live. But there are some videos on there like with tumblers and things like that. So let's see. Watching the live stream while I wait to see my doctor. This is such a good live. Thank you. I think embroidery is nice, but I'm not that brave. Embroidery, I like embroidery. I love the way, especially multi-needle embroidery machines. I think if I had to deal with like, or just like when it comes to like the smaller ones, it moves so slow. I don't think I could ever do that, even though, you want to start off small and then build up. I think if I ever got into embroidery, I'm definitely going to have to figure out a multi-needle because the small ones move a little too slow for me. And I'm like, that's not exciting at all. But I love the way multi-needles move. Oh, baby, don't get me into like multi-heads. When I watch Cruise Control, I'm like in awe to just see all of those machines go. Hold on. Let's see if that's a, hold on. Because I shared this, sometimes comments come in and it's on a post. So I don't see it on the live stream. Yep. So this one says, thank you, Professor, for all your gems. Good morning, Paula. Yeah, I don't get to see, like, because it's a shared one and you are commenting on that post instead of clicking on the live video, I don't see your comments on the live stream. Oh, no, I don't plan on doing it. I'm just saying, I just know that I would need a multi-needle. And just with who I am, I've been around it enough. Like I would be new to it, but I'm not new to it. So I've like done enough research. Like I've done a lot of research, like literally like watching videos, how to thread it, knowing about thread breaks and like like I've watched enough content, like just sit there and watch it and just observe certain things, to where I think that I would be able to handle a larger the needles, like a multi-needle one, larger, like higher than 4, because yeah, I'm just overzealous like that. So I don't know if a 4 needle would really work for me. Like I would probably want one of the big boys. That's just how my brain is wired. Oh, for whoever posted it, yeah. If you want to start, she's saying start with a 4 needle instead of a single needle. Oh, you love his page? Yes, I love Cruise Control. All right. All right, no other questions. Awesome. All right, so we are at 1 hour and 7 minutes. I thank you guys. For those of you guys who are in the student union, because I have some design things. Y'all saw, had one of my cousins on here is like, we have to talk. So I have some design things to work on for, actually there's like 4 things on my list now. I have to recreate or fix someone's logo. I have, 5. I have 2 t-shirt designs to do. I have a memorial design to do. Ever since I posted the other one, I have a memorial design to do. And then the other one is just text based, but we're going over, I'm not really doing the design. It is kind of like me starting it for them to understand about creating social media content and flyers and things like that. So I'm doing a sample base design using like simple shapes and text, just so they can see the impact that it can have. And then we're going to go into, I have to have that done before my one-on-one session with them, where we're going to go over it. So I like to have an example. That way I'm not spending the entire session like creating it on the spot. I can use that more so to like teach. So yeah, I pre-designed for my one-on-one session for sessions like that. So yeah. It's a lot going on. So thank you, God. Wait, I'm still on a 1 needle, working and praying for a multi-needle. Okay. So I thank you guys so very much for joining me. If you are in the student union, if you've ever taken a class and you're on Facebook and you haven't joined the student union yet, you need to go to your class. There is a link. There is a passcode that goes there. If you go to a class and you don't see it, then just email us or send us a message on the website via the chat, so that we can one, make sure we update that, but also just verify it and give you the code that you have to put in once you request to join the student union. And I will be going over all of the designs. Most of the stuff was done in Photoshop with a little bit of Silhouette. And I'm going to explain like what things could have been still have been done in Silhouette Studio, especially like all of the text and things like that. So all right. So until next time, guys. Oh, one more thing. It's still a mess in here from a busy weekend, but September is Caesar September. You guys, some of you guys know I got the Romeo months ago, but I have not been able to really build it into my schedule. At first, I wanted to kind of play around with it first and then kind of come and show, but I'm going to actually do it. You're going to see me unbox it. You're going to see me set it all up. You're going to see me do my first cut on it, and I'm going to learn that machine. You're going to see how I typically go through a process of learning a new machine. I don't just go in, even though I know about designing. I've cut on different machines before. I've designed in the program. There are certain things that I do whenever it comes to a new machine, and you guys are going to get to see that during Caesar September. And I want to plan those out. Again, trying to work on the schedule. They will be during the day. They won't be evening live sessions because I like to go home to my children. So we're going to schedule those out. I'm trying to make them like lunchtime lives for that one, where I'm going to go through learning my Caesar Romeo. So be on the lookout for those scheduled videos as well. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity, be incredible, and don't forget, Fins Win, PHINSWIN. Use that code on our website, shop.hsink365.com, to receive 23% off of our 8.5 by 14 and 11 by 17 sublimation paper. All right, y'all. Peace.